Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Rangers Radio. Rangers 2, Celtic 0, Celtic 2, and a spirited but ultimately disappointing display at Ibrox. Joining myself, Oxgia. On the show is Jaffa. Maybe a bit harsh here. Spirited performance, disappointed result, Jaffa. That's what I meant to say.
I think that's a fair assessment, Ox. I feel similar myself. We should have won that game, and I think that's a good position to be in because of the performance. Because we never showed them any respect, and I thought we matched them more than in every part of the game. So we should have won the game, Ox. We had plenty of chances. Decent performance, I have to say. From that perspective, it's game on as far as I'm concerned. I'm conceding nothing.
Well, hopefully he's got the number and we can take the 6 points after him. And it's only we've got to gain 3 for somewhere, 3 or 4 for somewhere. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think obviously the first few minutes we started okay. We were on the front foot. Kent had a shot. Again, for me, he's got to drive in because he's 35 yards for goal and he's a dribbler, he's not a shooter in that kind of situation. And then he gets the ball at the halfway line, a couple of wee balls. Morelos plays a blind pass, one of my pet hates. Tavernier, then just Jaffa.
I know, Ox. It was, he could have done like 3 different things there and he took the wrong decision. He had 3 other decisions. He could have played it any way he wanted, but he tried to play it back to Golson, hit it light, and Maeda's in, and Golson can't tackle him, to be fair. And it's 1-on-1, and then even further than that, McGregor, it hits his arm and goes in. McGregor got down nice and tight, but it goes under his arm and bounces and goes in. Just a bad goal all round.
Bad goal.
Again. Poor decision making.
Started with a bad decision by Alfie, and then a terrible tackle stroke pass by James Tavernier. For me, he's got 2 decisions to make. He either puts it right back to McGregor, or he just puts it away he's facing. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with that, in that time of the game. But he's trying to play football, which is sometimes a criticism you'll get. When it works, it's good. When it doesn't work, you're going to get criticised, Jaffa.
Absolutely. But to be fair to the team, they did get back in the game. We umpteen. There was only one team that created chances. Ox, they sat back, or we pushed them back. I thought we started really pushing into the game. I thought we created some decent chances, some really clear-cut chances. I mean, those 2 headers for Alfie, he's got to score them, Ox. I mean, especially the second one. It's a free header.
What I'll say is he's got to hit the target, mate. And then where it goes, or the goalie makes a great save or whatever, the both headers, mate, he never hit the target. So if you don't hit the target, Jaffa,
you can't score a goal. Simple as, we're taught that when we were playing under 7s and under 8 football. That's elementary stuff. A bit like the blind pass, Ox. We're doing things that we've got to rub that out of the game. They've got to erase that. That kind of stuff has to stop. And we didn't used to do that kind of stuff, to be fair. That team. And what I will say to Alfie, great chasing down that chance that he created. And incidentally, for me, that sparked us into life. When he turns the game for me in the first half, Ox.
There was a couple of tackles with John Lundstrom, and he grew into the game. And after about 25 minutes, after they got a bit of confidence when they got the goal, and then for about 25 minutes, a wee bit maybe more, we became the better team. Obviously, we hit the post. Their goalie touched on in the post. Ultimately, it was a good save. The 2 chances for Alfie for corner kicks, we were making things happen without creating too much. We were the team pressing, and we were comfortable. And I don't think we deserved to go in 1-down, mate.
No, I don't think so either, Ox. And listen, let's be honest here and transparent. There was nothing between the 2 of them. I mean, we were probably shaded it in the first half. We were the better team. Or should I say, we created the better chances. We probably had more passes, if you look at the stats, which I've not done yet. But we were certainly well in the game, Ox. So there was nothing.
They had a chance when it was put back to Higo and he made a fresh air kick. They had a chance to make it 2-0. Yeah, they did. They did have. But we reacted well. So when at half time, we're saying, how are we going to get back in this? wow, did we get back in it? And that's the frustrating thing about Ryan Kent, mate. We know he's got it, and he should. He done it against Hearts. Similar goal today. Tremendous goal. He should be doing that a dozen times a season, mate. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, see if he does that a dozen times a season, he's playing for a top 6 team in England. That's the reality. Because if he's got that in his locker, and we know he's got it in his locker because he does it. And you're right, what a goal. What an absolute peach of a goal. I mean, that was a belter. So from that perspective, I couldn't agree more with you, Ox. I guess like a lot of typical creative players, they just, they overcomplicate it. He took one touch, shoulder inside, and then just rattled it into the top corner. And the goalie's got no chance.
I'm going to fast forward a wee bit to later on in the game, mate, just when it was still 2-1, and he's in a similar situation, and he tries the slide rule to Kamara. Was it only me? It was shouting.
Say it again.
Same again, yeah.
Say it again. I know, and that's the thing about it. It's like often these guys, it's as if like Kent, you would put Kent in that bracket. If he just gets a tenth of a second too much time, he overthinks it. Whereas if he just does it, and because he's got the ability to do it, but I know exactly the move you're referring to. I mean,
so then we get the penalty kick. Well, looking at it again, it's a penalty kick. If it was going against us, don't know if we'd be overly enthused. But they checked it in VAR. They didn't think it was a clear and deliberate mistake by the referee, who I thought was poor, by the way. Some of his decisions were strange, but that's another decision, another conversation. We got the penalty kick, 2-1 up, and then we're looking for a third chaffer, eh?
Absolutely. And by the way, I must point out what a penalty it was. That was an absolute peach of a penalty. That's how you take a penalty. To James, all credit to James Tavernier. That was a belter. But yeah, we were comfortable, Ox. I mean, we were probably sitting back, and if anything, we were trying to hit them we were hitting them in the break. And we had some great opportunities, great times to go 3-1 up. And I'm baffled that we didn't. I mean, the big one for me was the Tillman one near whenever that was, 70 minutes. John Lundstrom going off. I agree with you, Ox. I think that changed the game a wee bit, to be honest with you, in their favour.
That was a big moment in the game. Lundstrom was playing well for me.
Aye, he was.
He was reading the game well, getting on top of him and bossing him physically, yeah.
He was.
Yeah, I would have brought Ryan Jack on, I thought. I'm sure people have their thoughts on the substitutions anyway, so that was a big point. We're 2-1 in. We're coasting. There's not a lot of danger, Jaffa. Then we self-destruct, really, didn't we? It was a bad goal.
Oh, it was a bad goal all round, Ox. And for me, the three front guys were the guys that were doing a lot of, should I say, the four of them at the front, including when Tillman was still on the park. They were doing really well to break up the play. By that time, Scott Wright's on. They turned them over, they pushed Celtic back, and then they turned their backs, the three of them, and ran back as if they'd done their job when they'd done the high press. And that's what caused the goal. They allowed Celtic to play it out, a diagonal ball over to Jota. Jota was allowed to pull it out of the sky. He then goes inside because he can only go one way, and Tavernier shows him inside. He plays a ball to Moy, and then he just hits the ball into towards our goal. And three of our defenders, I don't know, just missed it, went through their legs, and then we get ourselves into an absolute panic station and tried to play the ball out and contrived to play it to the penalty spot, and Kyogo sticks at the back of the net for 2 each.
A lot of errors. People could have done better on Jota. Then Ryan Jack on Moy, make sure he doesn't do anything with it, keep him facing away for the goal, and then it's just pure luck. We lost the goal. Then we rallied again, and we sort of made things happen. We were the team that was pressing, obviously. They threw the dice. They brought on a lot of forward players. If I've got one criticism about it, I just think you've played that game, and there's two substitutes you've not used in a high energy game, mate. That's an observation, maybe, rather than a criticism. That's my thoughts, Jaffa.
No, I think that's fair, Ox. Yeah, I think probably at the point when he started thinking about substitutions, that was the one that was forced upon him, as you said earlier. There was the Lundstrom one, and I don't think Lundstrom would have come off at all because he was bossing the midfield, and he had the number. McGregor had pulled out because he was man Martin McGregor. He was drifting right back into the back four. So for me, yeah, the substitutions, they could have been better, I guess, Ox, to be perfectly honest with you. And they could have been, the timing of them could have been better. Scott Wright, I thought, done all right when he came on.
I'm no a lover of Scott Wright, mate. He's a boy playing the man's football, and when you play against the guys, he's got pace and ability, but they just shove him off it, mate. And, you know, but that sometimes clouds your judgment of players. But he done all right. I think the big moment was Lundstrom come off, because I believe that time Jack was coming on for Tillman. It looked like for me, yeah. And Tillman had a chance to make it 3. Their centre half gets back and puts a good block in there.
Yep.
That was a big moment, yeah.
It was a big moment, Ox. I thought he could have took another wee touch and just turned back inside. And normally Tillman would normally do that. But it looked to me like it was going in. I agree. It was a cracking shot he got away. But to be fair to them, it was a good block. But I thought he might have just took another wee turn inside and sat him down. And then you're playing, you're doubling your chances, because you should have a free hit at goal, plus he might pull you down and get a penalty.
I get the substitutions. We obviously had to Lundstrom. Looks as if his ribs, and it was, don't know if you noticed, his ribs were taped up anyway. I don't know if you noticed that, Jaffa.
I didn't see that, Ox. No, I didn't see that at the start.
No, when he pulled his jersey up when he had the thing, his ribs were, you seen tape on his ribs, so he's obviously got an issue.
Aye.
So somebody's were out. Gave us what he had, and then so when I get that, Jack for him makes sense, perfect sense. And then we've got the 4 up front who you would leave Kent on, Morelos and Sakala, Tillman. For me, they'd all ran their race, and that's where you've got to freshen the pack up, mate. I don't know what you think.
Well, when you've got Roof and Cholak sitting there, Ox, I mean, I thought he would have...
Arfield for Tillman.
Or Arfield even. Arfield for Tillman, who's going to play exactly the same position, only with a bit more energy. And ghosting into race lots. I think I saw Roof changed at one point. I thought he was coming on, but that all seemed to change again when Tavernier burst his nose. That all seemed to change as well. We seem to get them substitutions a bit muddled up today, to be honest with you. And ultimately that may well have cost us the game, Ox.
Well, we don't know. It cost us the points.
It cost us the points. It cost us the 2 points.
We never left the game, you know. But look, disappointed in the result. There was times we played good stuff, we played at a good tempo, and we showed that we're not the worst team in the world. So there's room for optimism, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the positive to take away from it. I mean, it was a decent performance. Let's not be too despondent on the team. It was a decent one. We matched them man for man, what we asked for before the game. Scored 2 good goals. I mean, I know someone's a penalty, but we scored and we made umpteen chances, Ox. So we're well in the game. For me, we can forget that. The biggest thing that I take out of the game is that those doons that we're getting have gone.
All right. We've been joined by Jim. All right, Jim.
All right, guys.
How you doing, Jim?
How you doing, mate?
All right. Hello, everybody.
Happy New Year, Jim. Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to everyone who's listening to me. Probably not know many people. Anyway, never mind that. But see, I think we got what we deserve today. We did the same old thing. We can't play for the first half of the game. We came into the game, we grew to it for another 25 minutes, and we got back into it again. We looked the best team in the park for a long time today. I say that to you. I still trust the manager, Oxford, and it made the substitutions I thought was right at the time. And but I think it's going to look at our defence in the January window, because we look worried. When I was saying to my boy on the speakerphone thing, I said, why don't we just kick the ball at the park? That's what he did. When McGregor kicked the ball at the park, that's when we scored with equaliser. Let's pass the ball to Ghost and Davis.
Especially when people are shutting you down, mate, at the right time, and you just you play hospital. They would call them hospital passes, Jim.
Absolutely.
You pass them out to the fullbacks. There's somebody on top of them. You play it into the guy in midfield, and there's somebody running about him. There's this modern trend in football about playing the ball about, and
I thought Big Connor were absolutely outstanding. I agree with you. really good actually. Marshalled well, great balance. I mean, that Giakoumakis, he had nothing when he came on. They got to most headers in the box. I thought they were really decent today, Ox. Yeah.
Aye, and when Tavernier played up against their left winger, the boy who scored the first goal, he stopped him and he came away with the ball. So that was, we were slack at first. But Jim, I do take your point, and I think it's a fair point you make, that we weren't great in the close to the first half an hour. Yeah, and then we dominated the rest of the half and should have been in maybe 2-1 up.
Well, sure, we've been doing this for the last 18 to 2 years. We can't play football. It takes us half an hour to warm up. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, we might score an early goal noon again. I can't remember the last time we did that. We always go one down. So I was thinking we need to act together here. We're getting every single team a week. No, every single team. But you know what I'm talking about. You know I'm because I'm disappointed with today's result. But we're getting teams a goal or start all the time now. And here they went today. I don't think they were the better team today, actually. You know?
No.
They might think they're the better team in Scotland. I don't think they are. They're pretty ordinary as well.
But if we just take the Michael Beale era, if you like, Jaffa, we've been behind in 60% of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're making
of
ourselves, yeah.
We are. We're making it difficult. I mean, obviously, we with the Hibs game, you know, and then obviously with the Aberdeen game as well. We won in Dingwall and we cuffed Motherwell. But you're right. I mean, again, we lost a goal today to start the game, and I mean, it's a gift, Ox. It's not even, it's not even a good move by the attacking team that's cut you open. It was an absolute gift, and so was their second goal to an extent as well. Again, you know, they get the ball in the box, and it's just it's a nothing ball. It's an Oculus, and we should have cleared it on a couple of occasions, but we didn't. We just, we brought it upon ourselves. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats for today's game. We had 15 shots, they had 8. Shots on target by us, 5, they had 2.
All right, jump straight to the boys' gate, but let's hear from you.
Straight to the boys.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Jim, well, remember, thanks for the buffet. Everybody was delighted as normal, mate. You're getting
great,
better
great.
every year.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, guys. It's feeling fantastic because it took a lot of time. I was after COVID there, the Christmas New Year thing, you know, and I struggled through that, you know, getting the puff pastry and that, you know, the things you like usually.
Aye, all the stuff that's good for you, Jaffa.
No.
They battered prawns are brilliant, Jim. I don't know how you do them, but is that tempura you use?
Yeah, by the way, just be careful because I had COVID while I was making them.
Oh well, it's all right. But fair play.
I'm isolating.
Don't come back greeting to me next week. You know, coughing and spluttering all over the place.
No, you done us proud, mate. I think it's sparkling water he uses in his tempura mixture, Jaffa. You know,
it is that the secret?
Aye, he doesn't use tap water. Peckham Spring he uses.
Yeah. Always, you know me. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Jim. Listen, we're disappointed because we never won the football match. We're showing that when we get our players back and we've got a bit of organisation about us, we can beat everybody in Scotland. Jaffa and Jim.
Absolutely, Ox, and that's the positive to take out of today's game. You know, we matched them, we played them, and we were probably the better team. And on the day, we were the better team. We created more chances. We should have won the game, and that's got to be a positive to take out of Ox.
Mm-hmm. And I've got to. I'm giving my criticism, my observation of the match, Jim. But the manager's went out to win the game. He's got 4 forward players on the park at the start, and he's went out to win what he's done in every game. Yeah.
I like Ox. I like what he does. He understands that. Well, maybe he doesn't understand, but I think he does what I think he should do. That makes me feel happier. Mm-hmm. I'd lumped on. I just lumped on big time today, Oxford, right? But I cashed out because I know the frailties we've got in the back, right? I cashed out. I was up for 500 quid today, I cashed out 150 notes, right? That shows you how I felt about the game.
You got it right, mate. You got it right. That's your nerves and experience. Listen, when you're watching the games and the other team go forward, you always feel as if they're going to score. But if you're honest, apart from that ricochet and a couple of defensive small errors, they didn't look what's going in the second half, I'm being honest anyway. But been joined by Blue Star.
Afternoon, guys.
Hi, Blue Star.
Aye, disappointed, obviously. We didn't win the game, but guys, got to call it the way I see it. We were playing with half a team there, and I'll be as critical as that. Tav, not a chance, guys. If you're telling me he's no injured, then he would never get playing another game for me. Same with Morelos. I'm sorry, with 5 shots on target to their 2, they buried 2. Morelos, absolute jokey player. Joke. He's finished. He's done it at our club. And I've said it before this game. He shouldn't even be out there. If our manager's telling us Kolach and Roof were fit enough to be on the bench, his substitutions defied logic. He cost us the game, quite frankly. Kamara, platters to deceive, and Tillman, oh my, I'll be hard on him, guys. Never in a million years. The work rate is diabolical. Lundstrom put his cell about. We all know Lundstrom's no get fast legs, but boy, oh boy, that other team across the city knew they were in a game with him. It's just a pity he's not got the same kind of desire a player next to him. Kamara, Tav, absolute disgraceful performance for Tav. He doesn't have the legs to go by the halfway line. I think he got up the park twice. His positioning for the first goal was bad enough, but then to try and pass it back like a treacle scone back to our goalkeeper, he actually made it easier for Maeda. Disgraceful. Ox, you need to call it as it is. We're playing with 4 players out there that, quite frankly, should never have been on that second half. Never have been on in a million years. Terrible they were. Terrible.
I accept you. Morelos, these 2 headers, he should have scored, and he was involved in the goal, and Tav was culpable. But after half an hour, Tav was pushing their guy back, and if you watch the second half, because I know you'll watch it back, he was playing up until the last 10 minutes, maybe just after he got his heat knocked, Jaffa. He was playing. Tav was up the edge of their box constantly. Jaffa,
I thought Tav had a reasonable game. Blue Star. I mean, I know he was part of the mistake at the start of the goal, but you've got that's on Morelos because he plays the pass across. It was a brutal pass in the first place, or a hospital pass as you would call it in our day. But I thought Tav was well in the game, and I thought he pushed Juranovic back. I thought he made him look pretty foolish at times, to be honest with you, and sat him down a couple of times. So
Jaffa, watch the goal back. We know Morelos passed the ball across, but see whenever the ball came to Tav, what did Tav do with it?
He played him in. He tried to play it back away, and he made an arse.
Tried to play it back at a snail's pace instead of darting it back to the goalie for McGregor to kick it up the park. Tav made the net of the goal. If you watch the second half back, Ox, as I know you will, he tried to push forward. They never get by the fullback virtually the whole game because he can't run. That's Tav's game. The passing for Tillman was like a stooge out there. Yes, he gets forward a couple of times, but his work rate is diabolical. They've got guys all over the park. Yes, we should have beat them. We all know we should have beat them, and that's the sore point. But we're still playing with passengers. And until our manager can bring in proper guys in the middle of the park, we're going to struggle. We did well considering what we had out there because we've got players that aren't good enough, guys. That's it in a nutshell.
See when the game started, Jim Paisley and we were fit holding the game. All our players done all right.
No, sure. I've been saying this for I don't know many years. I don't know how many times I've phoned in this show and we've always. I
was going to say no enough. I might have meant to say too many. Carry on.
Too many times, I understand you. I'm with you there. But we do the same thing in these games. It takes us half an hour to walk up, to wake up. Oh, sure. I don't know what that is. I don't understand it. How many times we've been one down? I think Blue Star or Jaffa made us. You maybe had a statistic. We've been one down in so many games. You know, I think it's I don't want to swear New Year. That's ridiculous.
You're going to lose goal.
And we'll start playing. Let's go one down first.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're saying there. You know, I thought.
If you look at 2 of the last 3 league games since Michael Beale's went in, we have been behind in both games, Jaffa. But the positive thing is we've got ourselves in front again. Yeah.
Aye. Yeah, 100%. And that's my point about today's game. I'm gutted like the rest of us that we didn't win, and I think that should tell you everything. The fact that I'm gutted that we should have won, because a lot of us did. A lot of fans and a lot of guys that came on this show last week were saying the same thing, that they didn't fancy us and didn't think we would have a chance. I thought we were the better team. I thought we were the better team over the 90 minutes.
Over the 90 minutes. I think the substitutions, I think you've got to use substitutes. Yeah, obviously you had to take off John Lundstrom, who I think was pushing for man of the match at times, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And I'm not Lundstrom's biggest fan, because I thought him, Davis and Golson pretty much strolled the game and were controlling it post that.
Oh, Lundstrom was man of the match. There's nobody was better than him. When he went off, that was us. Quite frankly, I said to one of my mates, that's us. You're waiting the name get up the park. And so it proved. The fact of the matter is, we've spent a fortune.
It made it happen, you know.
He did. He was very effective today, Sakala. I agree with Blue Star. I thought his backtracking as well. He broke up a lot of play. I thought Sakala had a great game, an absolute belter of a game. So that's a positive, surely. And I think there was quite a few positives in our team. Listen, I agree with what Jim's saying. I think the 2 defensive errors are coming down the same side of the park, and you know we're not making. They're no scoring brilliant goals and cutting us open, and that's a positive thing. We gifted them 2 goals today. We've got to knock that out of our game. That's got to be worked on. And I guess the other positive thing to look at is we've still got January signings to come in. You know, and Beale has said that he's going to bring players in. So, you know, let's wait and give the manager a chance to do that. He's played 5 and he's unbeaten in 5.
Aye, I thought our centre backs, Blue Star, I thought they done okay. They strolled it. Big Davis, when you have a natural left footer in there and that side of the defence, it does help, yeah. But the first few minutes we were getting stretched. Once we lost the goal, they played with a wee bit of confidence before we got a foothold. And that the frailty about our shape was giving me concerns. But when we got on the ball and started making things happen, our shape actually helped us, Poster.
Okay, aye, you're right there. As I say, for me, I don't care what MD says. Golson and Davis they had a good game. Everything comes for the fullbacks, but as you say, when they start pushing on to help the midfield out, we're a different team. The point is, the middle of the park were far, far too weak. Tillman, I'm sorry, I've said it for weeks. He's far, far, far too slow. Kamara, no brains, the boy. No brains whatsoever. Give him plenty of time on the ball. Aye, he'll spray balls about all over the place. But if you put somebody in tap him, he can't handle it. And Tillman's the same. We're doubling up on him, and that's him beat. He needs players in the middle of that park. How he never brought Jack on sooner defies logic. But as I say, his substitutions cost us the game, no doubt about it. Morelos, to be on as long as he was, Ox was just that ridiculous. It really was.
Look, I would have made 2 more substitutions because I thought guys had run their race, Jaffa. But you could have made these substitutions and lost 2 goals. You don't know. You never.
No, you don't know, and you can't. I mean, we can't say that the subs cost the game because, well, I wouldn't see it that way. Certainly contributed, but I don't think we didn't lose the game. We lost a late goal, but
you could have brought a sub on and you could have done what the Liverpool player done the other night.
He scored an OG.
Sorry, who was it? Who did he play for? Who did Liverpool get the 2 goals? Oh, Leicester. Did you see the 2 OGs?
I did. So yeah, listen. Look, you know, it's that's a subjective thing, you know. And Blue Star sees it that way. That's fair enough. You know, all our opinions all matter. You know, at the end of the day, we all watch our team. And I thought overall, we'd done reasonably well. I think we should have won the game, and I think that's the positive thing to take out it because they're no great shakes, and we matched them man for man. throughout the whole 90 minutes.
And as soon as we could get at our defence, Blue Star, and we could move it, we could see that that's their weakness. Yeah, they're all right when
absolutely
they go wide and they're letting them get their runners because they obviously they flood the midfield and they've got more pace in their team than we've got. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ox, it doesn't take Einstein to work it out. As soon as you get at their defence, they're found wanting. And a wee bit like us as well. But at the same time, you look at what they've got up front and then you look at what we've... I'm sorry. Listen, any of you try and tell me that Alfie should have been on that part for as long as what he should, then you get the wrong eyes. And that's no opinion. I'm telling you, you ask all the guys coming out that ground today, they were cursing Alfie. I know they were because I've had it. The guys finished at our club. Finished.
You're judged on goals, centre forward.
No, his work rate for weeks since he came back, Ox, has been dire. Absolute dire. He's not even putting in tackles. Not even putting in tackles. You know what he done the best part all day? He waited till a guy was injured lying in the ground. He stood over the top of him, talking to him. That was Alfie's input today.
What happened when we hit the post? Just remind me, Jaffa. Who closed the goal open and passed it back?
Listen, look, Blue Star, you see it your way. I don't see Alfie that way at all. I thought he actually had a decent enough game, to be honest with you. I thought you see it your way and I'll see it my way. I thought he ragdolled their defender. That's why he was on the park. He was on the park to occupy their two central defenders. And I thought he'd done a reasonable job. Bearing in mind, he's up against the tightest defence in the league. I thought he'd done all right. He had a couple of headers. He should have scored 2 goals. He created that by closing down their goalkeeper. He created that chance out of nothing. And incidentally, my take on it is, I think that was a bit of the game that sparked us into action when he done that in the first half. So I thought we Alfie, even on Wednesday night when I was at the game, Blue Star, I thought he had a good game against Motherwell. I thought he was probably one of the better players in the park. So I think he's in the team in merit, and I think he done all right in my opinion.
What he'll get is the criticism, Blue Star, when you come out the game is because he should have hit the target with the 2 headers. Nobody's play. It'll be the fact if he misheats them and they go in, you're talking differently because that's how you're judged.
Aye, but we keep saying that about him, Ox. How many chances has he had against Celtic in front of goal? End of story. End of story. He's there. He's putting the ball in the net. That's what he's there for.
That
he doesn't do it.
That criticism's fair, the same as Ryan Kent when you talk about his numbers. Jim, when you see him do that today with that tremendous goal, you think, just do that every couple of weeks. What a play you'd be.
Oh, listen, you know, Oxia, you know me, I'm not a big Ryan Kent fan. You know, he doesn't do it often enough. I'm probably the same as the rest of the guys that phone on your show. My boy was talking to me half time, and he was saying to me, "See if Sherlock's played up front today, he's scoring the 2 headies."
He might have done, mate. He might have done.
You know what I mean? We don't know. It's another day, another dollar. No, he was. I think Alfredo Morelos is one of the best football players at Idle Football Club. Hold it up, pass it off.
Listen, gents. We'll get some more callers coming in. I thank you to you for your opinion. We're going to.
No bother, guys.
We're going to hear from the manager. So, you have a good night and speak to you later. Cheers. Let's hear from your manager, Michael Beale.
Michael, a draw in the derby this afternoon. What are your reflections on that game?
We conceded a poor first goal when we actually started the game quite well, and then we conceded and it knocked us back in our belief, and for 10 or 15 minutes we had to grind a little bit and get out and almost clear our heads. After that, I thought we started to do well, and we had 2 big chances with Alfredo off headers. Ryan Kent, a good chance as well. And so we didn't really want the half-time whistle. At half-time, it was about showing a little bit more belief and showing a bit more quality with possession. We were a bit cheap giving the ball away first half. The response second half was outstanding. I think we should have gone on to win the game. We were in control. We had a chance to maybe go 3-1 with Malik. And the second goal is a real sucker punch in terms of us dropping deep, and we had 3 or 4 chances to clear it. So it's disappointing. I thought overall we performed well in the game, and no one could have argued if we had won it.
And you touched on that start to the second half. You must have been pleased with the reaction you saw from the players at the break.
Well, that's exactly what we want Ibrox to be like. The players on the pitch, the fans in the stadium excited and up and cheering the team, the players jumping with that. We need to maintain that, and we need to have that every single game here, because that makes us a much stronger team and a much stronger club when it's like that. The atmosphere in the stadium was fantastic. I thought it was a good game. Two teams went head to head, and I thought there was nothing in it. If anything, we should be more clinical, and then maybe we go away with the 3 points. We're no further behind than we were 4 or 5 weeks ago. If anything, in our mind, we know that if we play at the level that we can, we'll win a lot of football matches.
Yeah, and you said during the week that this game would help you learn a lot about your team and where they're at. There must be positives to take forward from today.
Yeah, loads of positive. We're playing without Antonio, without Kamar, Tom Lawrence, Yanis Hadji, without Ridvan. There's a lot of players, John Suter, that can come in and help this team move forward, can make the squad stronger. I'm looking forward to getting them back in the next month. January's a huge month for us as a football club. There's a lot of big games. There's a lot of tricky games, tough ones, but we have to stand tall and show our level now moving forward. So I thought today was a decent performance. I'm disappointed with the outcome of the result, but there was a lot of things in there for me to be positive about.
Yeah, and a full week now to prepare for Dundee United next Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It'll be another tough game. The disappointment of this result will linger for a little bit, but we've got to keep moving forward. We've only been back together, or I've only been with the group again for the last 4 or 5 weeks. We're showing good signs. Okay, and we've got to want and drive the standards more and more. We've got to want more from each other every day. Starts in training, starts with standards, and then the performances and the results will follow that.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, Bill, as Jeff.
Sounds the same, Ox. Exactly the same output.
But it's disappointing. Disappointing hearing his voice. That we've no 2 or 3 points, what we should have done. And he's right also with the goal. We all went too deep. Everybody towards the goal. With that many bodies in there and nobody's picking up. If we come out and stay high, I think Moy can't make that run on his offside. And
yep.
So. But I didn't see it again. I've not, but just maybe too many bodies defending and not enough in midfield.
Well, I purposely saw it and was watching because I've always been a big fan of that expression of defending for the front. And whenever I played, that was one of the things that I was taught and educated on, was about the if you call it the high press nowadays, was about the forwards defending. And we'd done it brilliantly. We were doing it really well, because that's why we had them where we wanted them, because they were starting to make long balls, try to put balls in behind. Callum McGregor was doing it, and it wasn't working because the ball was getting out of play. But the 3 guys, Scott Wright, Sakala and Ryan Kent, had done it and pushed them back. And then they ran back to the halfway line. They about turned and ran back. And they just invited the next wave of attack to come on them, rather than staying up high and keeping on pressing. And that's where it started.
You think it was a clock, mate? Just because of the clock, that way you look, we'll get back just to what we've got because there's so little time to go.
Well, it probably is, Ox, and probably a bit of tiredness, what you're saying there. I mean, if you flip Sakala and drop him, take him off, I mean, not only that, you burn up a bit of time as well. And it baffled me that we still had 2 subs left. Why did he not bring on Roof or Cholak or anybody else for that matter, just to run down the clock? But, I mean, Sakala was having a decent game, but maybe tiredness is playing a part. Listen, look, it does take the energy out of you when you're running about doing, when you're chasing. It zaps you. But we still had the lead at that point. And then the backs all sat back because we brought on Sands. And I think naturally we went into a defensive mode. And I think he's right. We just sat back on Ox. It was concentration levels. Just an error mistake, an error in judgment. And that's the kind of stuff we need to eradicate out of the game. The game management, if you want to call that. We've got sloppy in that. And I think that's what he's referring to when he's talking about standards. Because we used to be really, really good at that. We were brilliant at it, just running the clock down. I mean, we had the lead. You've got your hand round their throat, your opposition's throat. There's nothing they can do. If you just keep the ball up high and keep it wide, keep it with your front guys, but support them so that they can do that and play all the triangle passes out in the corners. Scott Arfield's very good at that. So you're right. the substitutions. If there is someone, Michael Beale, today that you want to put your finger on him, it's possibly the substitutions.
Only for fresh legs in that time of the game and slow the thing they doing, because you seen it. Kamara had gone, and obviously Sakala had ran his race, Tillman had ran his race, Morelos had ran his race. Yeah, you know, and people will say, well, they should be able to, but it's that time of the season where we've all these games and some of them aren't 100% fit. So it's modern football. You have to use the substitutes because of the pace it's played at. You know, they used their 16 players and we used 14. Am I right? Yeah, 14.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing about any group of football players in any team, Mox, within that team you'll have guys that can run all day. You'll have guys that can run marathons. You know, and I believe we've got a few of them. And you'll have guys that just can't. They've not got. You know, they might be fast over 20 yards or 25 yards. Or 30 yards, but they're not going to give you. You're not going to be able to run a marathon or a 10k. And Morelos probably falls into that category. My point in saying that, there'll be a number of players. Ryan Kent, maybe he's good over a quick, 50 yards or something like that. But then he loses it because he can't maintain that pace. So within that group of players, there's guys that are ultra fit, is the point I'm trying to make, and there's guys that their fitness levels are maybe just not at the same as the rest of them. So you need to keep changing them, and you might only get 60 minutes out of them. And I have to be honest with you, the pace today in the game was full on. It was 100 mile an hour for the whole of the
because
probably 70 minutes.
We started, they got the goal, then they had 20 minutes where we were chasing, yeah. And then we started getting in tap, and our team started working hard. So you're putting it in, and then we were going at it, yeah. And then we got the lift of the goal. So up until maybe the Tavernier incident, yeah, the game was full on, mate, right up to that moment. And they 2 moments with Tav and Lundstrom, they potentially big moments for us, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right as well. I mean, that Tav was playing with that thing up his beak, and that doesn't help. There's no two ways about it. That doesn't help with your breathing.
No,
no. So it does take it. I mean, well done to Tav for carrying on and playing out the game. A lot of guys would just have walked off at that point.
I thought I thought his nose was broke. I must admit at first.
That wouldn't surprise me if that comes out afterwards, Ox, because it was a cracker right on the bridge of his nose. I dare say you would have been proud of that one yourself. They were big moments, and obviously, and Morelos and Tav will get stick for the first goal, and rightly so. I mean, but if Morelos doesn't do it, Tav doesn't make the error. Tav makes a bigger mistake than Morelos, in my opinion, when I've watched it back. The second goal we weren't great, but Morelos' criticism will be, I don't know about his play, particularly in the second half, which I thought was fine, but he'll get criticised because of the 2 headers. He never hit the target, mate. If he headers them and it's going in and the goal tips it round the post, but he never. No, he didn't. And listen, I said to who I was sitting watching it with, he had 3 chances, in the first half that he potentially, he could have scored 3 goals. But that's Alfie, isn't it? That we know what you're getting with Alfie, and that modern strikers, if you want to go and get a 25-goal striker, they cost a lot of money. We are where we are. We've got who we've got. I thought Alfie wasn't too bad today. I think most of the team, to be perfectly honest with you, had a decent performance. Socks. I think that's why we're all moderately disappointed that we didn't get the 3 points. We should have won the game. And I think that's the best compliment I can give him. And I think that's what Michael Beale was trying to say in the interview there. He's disappointed himself. He's just like the rest of us. He's feeling exactly the same way. We should have walked out. We should be jumping about with the 3 points, but we're not. But we didn't lose, and that's also important as well.
No, it's in the performance in the middle 60 of the match, if you like, after about 30 minutes, was fine. The football was fine. The application was fine. The teamwork was fine. The players were fine. That for 30 minutes to, 75, maybe even 80 minutes, our team was. There were no failures, if I'm being honest. Yeah, people can do better at individual times, but the collective will be done all right then.
I think when we got our noses in front, when we got the penalty, Ox, you saw the passing was much crisper. It was much more accurate. You're right. We had told we looked the better team. There's no two ways about it. We were still creating chances, albeit half chances, but we were still getting in behind them. And as they started pushing up, and you saw what they'd done at the end, they had ended up with 4 forwards on essentially. They were pushing for the equaliser, and ultimately they got their equaliser for a mistake with us again. But I thought you're right, Ox. In that middle period, I thought we were decent. I thought we were absolutely decent, and I thought we bossed them about. I thought Lindstrom looked really good in the middle of the park.
He was having one of his finer games for us, mate. He was stepping in there, taking the ball off of people, reading the play well, coming forward, getting into space. Yeah.
Kamara was doing the same. There was a lot of triangle passing happening. We both Barisic out on the left and Tavernier out on the right. I thought Sakala was linking up. His link-up play with Tav in the wing was decent. He was getting in behind. The two of them were certainly on par with each other. It allowed Tav to whip a couple of decent crosses into the box. But listen, look, you've got to remember who we're playing. We're playing probably the two best teams in the league are playing. So they're always going to create chances against Yorks, and you're always going to create chances against them. It was an open game.
But they never. That's the annoying thing. All right, give them their second goal, but the first goal they never created that, did they?
No, they didn't, Ox. You're right. They didn't create a lot of chances, and that's testament to the back line, and particularly the back two. I thought were decent for us today. So you're right. Their 2 goals came from 2 errors for us, and that's the part. I think that's the bit of our game that we need to work on. It's not just been, and it's not. This isn't the first time we've seen this. As you pointed out, we've seen it against Aberdeen. We've seen it against Hibs. Giving away sloppy goals. We've got to knock that out of our game. That's got to go.
Aye, and maybe when you look at it, maybe the fullbacks they've got to do a lot. As Fox is always saying, they've got to be in two places at once. So they're no natural defenders. But the first goal was an individual error. By combination, bad pass to Alfie, then Tav makes an error. And I'm sure he'll be big enough to put his horn up for that. But they've got to stop, mate, because if he doesn't make that error, people look at his performance differently. He didn't have a great first 20 minutes to the match, but he grew into it.
He did, Ox, and what he done is Maeda was getting beyond him, if you remember, in the first, as you say, 20 minutes of the game. He got, and I think that was instructions for the side, by the way. He started getting touch tight with him because he was giving him too much space. He was allowing him to turn on him. And the minute that he got touch tight with him, he started winning the ball off him because he's not the greatest player in the world either. Let's not be kidding about it. I mean, Tav was making him out to look like he was the best winger in the league. He played a couple of balls in the first 10 minutes. He whipped one right across the face of the goal as well, if you remember, Ox. But Tav sorted that. We sorted that, and that's fine. And he did that. That helped us grow into the game, to be perfectly honest with you.
Aye, and my criticism is when that boy goes out to Jota, mate, that's tied to the game. He should have been tight, and he shouldn't have been able to come inside. He just had some rattles him out in the touchline, mate.
100%. And if he doesn't get him, Sakala should have been running. Scott Wright should have been running back as well to catch him. The two of them should have been. The minute that ball gets pinged for the other side of the park, and you see it get into the sky, that's when you make your move, and that gives you the 0.2 of a second to get back 20 yards, 30 yards to catch him. We didn't double up on them, and that allowed Jota to freely turn inside, play the ball into the left-hand side of our box, allowed Moy to turn again. Even Jack was standing off him; he was about a yard or two off him. Allowed him to turn and play a stupid ball across into towards the goal, and well, the rest of we know what happened after that.
Aye, but I mean, can't blame the goalie for any of the 2 goals, mate. People are saying we're losing too many goals, but they've 2 goals tonight. I don't know, and I don't think there's any.
I thought McGregor done well in the first one to get down. To be honest with you, he nearly got it. I don't think you can blame McGregor for that. I think it's one of the ones. A lot of 50-50 chance. You'll save some of them, you'll lose some of them. And the second goal, I mean, he skies it into the roof of the net. I mean, it was a decent finish, to be fair. For that part of the box. He did finish it well. Credit where credit's due. And I hate saying that, but it is what it is, Ox.
Aye, individual errors. Listen, I said at the start, I'll let you sum it up. Disappointing result. After the first 25 minutes, no disappointing in the performance. I accept Jim Paisley's. Why did it take us that to to start. Goals change games, Jaffa. They get a lift when they got the goal. That's what happened.
Of course it does. And we also, the minute we got our noses in front, we became the team that was bossing the game. And that's no coincidence. We, for the next 25, 30 minutes, they couldn't lay a glove on us. Goals do change games. They change the psychology. They change it. More importantly, they change your energy levels. That's what goals do. The team gets energised when they lose a goal, and the same happens when you score a goal. You get more energy. That's just a fact of football and sport in general.
Yeah. Who did you give man of the match to?
I gave the man of the match to Ben Davies as well. I thought he was man of the match. I thought Sakala was a close second though.
Right, okay. Listen, we're going to wrap up, but we're going to be back tonight between 8 and 9. It's the 2nd of January, so we have to pay our respects. This has been a football show, but we'll pay our respects tonight. Thanks to Blue Star and thanks to Jim for Paisley for joining us. Thanks to your good self, Jaffa.
Thanks a lot, Ox. Thanks for having us on, and obviously condolences to this evening's show to all the people that lost their lives in Ibrox disaster in 1972. 1971. Sorry, beg your pardon.
Listen, thanks for listening. Disappointing result, but remember, we are the people. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Everybody for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard. We've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Successful team in football, we're Scotland's gallant few. Times they have been hard, we've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Whoa. Successful team in football, we're Scotland's